I think that it did a really remarkable job at connecting the dots of the past, the present, and the future, and reminding us that the past is not dead. You know, the past is not even the past. And having an opportunity to play Veronica Henley, who is a successful um, author, and she finds herself trapped in this horrifying reality where she has to confront the past, the present, and the future before it's too late, was important. You know, this film highlights uh, what Black women have to deal with every single day as we carry the burden of dismantling white supremacy and systemic racism. You know, this isn't something that we should be doing, yet we are doing it. Um, I think that this film reminds us what's at stake. You know, if we don't make changes, if we don't use our power, our privilege for good, to protect, you know, black bodies, black people, black lives, if we don't do that, we will continue to see an uprising, and we will continue to lose human beings who matter. I think this film will further the conversation around systemic racism, around white supremacy, and around racist policy. I think that it's important that we continue to have conversations, because through dialogue is how we get to change. And if we are continuing business as usual and ignoring, the past, which was chattel slavery, and how it has informed all of the racist policies that we have today, um, then we won't get real change. If we don't look at the fact that, you know, policing and police patrol started, in the Civil War, and was meant to not protect, but um, to terrorize, then we won't get to the real solution and the root of the problem. Well, you know, for me, whenever I am a part of a film, it's a family. You know, it's community. I don't get an opportunity to uh, be free on screen and take risks without an incredible crew and cast and scene partners and directors and catering. All of this works in harmony with each other. And I think that between takes, we tried as much as we could to, you know, laugh and to eat together and talk to each other outside of just making the film, because there were heavy moments, there were challenging moments, but what we had to do was balance that all out and realize and remind ourselves that uh, it's not just about us, it's about all of the people who will be impacted by this film when they see it. I hope that Black women see themselves and feel seen and feel loved and cared for, and um, proud. I hope that what we can do as humanity is, again, use our privilege for good, and really not just be allies but accomplices to change and accomplices to protecting Black lives. I really enjoy working with Bush and Renz. For this to be their first feature length film, and for this to be my first leading role, we always have that to say to each other. They are passionate directors, with very specific vision, and it just was an honor, you know, that they wanted me to portray this important woman.
Yeah, I mean, this cast was pretty incredible. But I mean, good material tends to attract, really interesting actors. And I think having Janelle Monáe on board from the beginning, I think all the rest of us, I mean, I know about me, I was such a fan of her work and I felt like she was such an interesting poet and musician that I was just really excited to get to work with her. Yeah, it's interesting how when something when it's important material, there's sort of like it's like a trauma bond, where it's like without even ever having a lot of time spent together. I feel like this cast went deep down to the barracks so quickly that we just sort of formed this sort of intimacy, this trust, this understanding that felt like we had known each other for a really long time. Um, it just gives me a really, the fact that this film was made, you know, about 2 years ago, and it's being released during a time where we're experiencing, like, you know, the greatest social justice movement of our generation. Um, you know, there's all these ties of like where police brutality, the roots of police brutality was sort of plantation owners. You know, I mean, there's so many ties to this film that it actually gives me hope in knowing that as an artist, this is the work that matters in changing and shifting human consciousness, and through these different embodiment techniques of storytelling and witnessing, that we are able to form some sort of spiritual catharsis, because I think that's really been denied a lot of this, the people of this country, because we have never formed collective grief rituals. We have never, you know, reparations now. I mean, there's so many things that need to happen that I feel like, because seeing how like Chris and Gerard could perceive of something, and they're sort of channeling and writing this story that can be so important 2 years from now, just shows me how divine and important the work of filmmaking really is, you know?